Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 511. My name is Adam Patterson. With me today, we got Kevin Rickstraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hello.
Yeah, this week on the show, we'll be taking a look at the horror film In a Violent Nature, which is out now on VOD platforms. We're also going to be going over some we're watching on the watch list and this week's new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Let's dive straight on into In a Violent Nature. I have, This is directed by Chris Nash. I have a synopsis here. The enigmatic resurrection, rampage, and retribution of an undead monster in a remote wilderness unleashes an iconic new killer after a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower that entombed its rotting corpse. There you go. Now, both of us were pretty highly anticipating this movie, I would say. We were both pretty pumped for it. I'm gonna predict that you did not like this movie at all.
You would predict wrong.
Oh man, I thought for sure this was not gonna be. I thought it was gonna be too over the top gory for you.
No, and I'm glad that you started with that because that was like the main thing that I heard about this movie is that, you know, the gore was just like ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But I gotta say, after I think maybe the first or second kill, like it's pretty evident that this is kind of ridiculous. Like,
well,
it's a throwback. Like it's kind of funny, but like the gore just takes it to another level, and it's not for as much of it being like this kind of slow cinema horror movie. Like it's kind of funny.
I agree, and I think that it is intentionally funny. I mean, there's no way that one scene when he's just pounding that head for like a minute straight, just pounding and pounding that face. There's no way that that's not being played for laughs. It has to be.
Oh yeah, and I mean a lot of the dialogue, like you can tell that this is like it's kind of like a throwback.
It is,
yeah. It's terrible acting.
It is absolutely a throwback. The way that it's shot too. It's a really interesting slasher movie. It's like an art house slasher movie in a lot of ways. I think the choice in perspective, the super long like static shots that they do, like it's it's very slow in some parts. There's a lot of this movie that's just you're just following the killer as he's walking to his next victim, looking for his locket, just walking and killing. But like a lot of this movie, a lot of the runtime is just spent following this dude around in the woods as he, does his slasher thing. And I got to say, like, I liked it. I found it to be refreshing to see a movie that was clearly inspired by 80s slashers, but put a nice little spin on it.
Yeah, because it's kind of that idea of a lot of those throwbacks where they had like the POV from the killer, but it was just like sporadic. It was like just before a kill or something like that. Where this is just like, well, we're gonna do that like 95% of the time, and guess what? A lot of it's just the killer walking to his next victim.
Yeah. Like in Friday the 13th and the Halloween films, like the killer doesn't run. You don't see the shape running. You see them just lurking, and that's kind of how this movie is.
And it's just kind of fun because essentially it's an experiment that at first I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work for the entire runtime. But like I said, I was super happy that it's kind of funny and campy in some ways because like you'll just hear the annoying characters in the distance.
Yeah, that's one of the more interesting things is that being from this perspective, like you see that you still hear the characters as if you were like with them. So you can still hear them in their dumb conversations very clearly, but you're very much separated from them because you're across a lake or whatever.
Yeah, and I think if you've watched enough of those old slasher movies, you know exactly what that movie looks like. Like you can hear the dialogue, you can hear them arguing, which would normally be the 95% of all other slasher movies is you would be spending time with these people in the woods. But here they just flipped it, which I
Hmm.
thought was interesting because like I said, you know what that movie looked like. Like I don't need to see it.
Yeah, and also it does periodically switch perspectives to the victims, and it's it is truly like a flip flop, which is
Flipping and
I,
flopping.
flipping and flopping all over the place here. But I think in the end, it makes it a far more interesting experience because, like you said, we've seen the slasher formula done to death,
Yeah.
but this does something unique with it, and I think that the fact that we're working with a slasher here who is interesting, like the look, the mask, obviously the creativity and the kills, that's all, that just adds to everything in this movie, I think.
Yeah. And you get some nice like filmmaking flourishes in particular just the way that it was filmed when the killer does the car horn and then like circles the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was impressive.
I liked the cinematography. I don't know what the aspect ratio is, if it's like a 4:3 or something, but it's more of like that kind of like a square aspect ratio. I don't know if it's shot on film or not. It's grainy, like as if it was shot on film. I don't know if that's like an effect that was added or not. But
I could see that.
I liked, I liked the look of it.
And
Yeah, just solid.
the effects work on the gore is pretty damn good.
Yeah, tons of practical effects. Maybe all practical effects. I don't know. It might be all practical effects, but yeah, some over the top crazy gore scenes in this. I'm thinking specifically of that one unfortunate woman that gets it, the hooks and everything, and man, whew. And then
That was a bit rough.
yeah, some of it is like it's so ridiculous. Like when the elaborate methods in which, because he can crush you. He can just crush you. He can stab you. He has this chain hook things. He has an axe at one point. So he has easy ways that he can kill you, but he tends to come up with these like extremely complicated methods, like the I guess it was like a tree splitting machine or something.
Oh yeah. Good
Like
lord.
that whole scene, it's like 5 minutes long of him killing this one dude. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty
It's
crazy.
it's just the what where they do them kind of come up with their plan and they do the old like I'm gonna distract him and as soon as he jumps out.
Yeah, just immediate death. Yeah, I enjoyed all of that stuff. This movie, from its opening shot, you kind of know that this is going to be something different because it opens with the camera just kind of static on the locket, and you hear the victims talking, and then you see one of them take the locket, and then it lingers. The camera just lingers there with the killer as he's being resurrected, and then I can't remember if that's all like done in a single take shot or what, but
Pretty sure.
it
But
feels like it is.
yeah, and I mean it sets the stage. It lets you know that like this is you're gonna have to be patient.
Yeah, but I loved it. I loved that whole sequence of him coming out of the ground and then walking to that house where those like two hillbilly guys were arguing, and then I thought all of that was great. I can see this being somewhat of a polarizing film. I can see it not working for a lot of people with regards to not only the over the top gore, but just the pacing of it. I can see maybe some people find this to be a little bit too slow and too plodding, but for me, it was just very refreshing take on
Yeah.
the slasher genre. I love slasher movies, but modern slasher movies are just
Yes.
man, they're just so
Bad.
weak for the most part. And I
No,
think that this one is definitely something different.
I'm right there with you. I thought it was a refreshing take, and but I like that it mixed it enough of the throwback in with the new style,
Yeah.
the new approach.
At first, I thought that that it did take place in like the 80s or something, but then you see the one character pull out a cell phone, and I was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I have a feeling like honestly, I could see myself like if this movie took itself like really seriously, I could see myself potentially not liking it. But I think that ridiculous kind of funniness to it, it's just like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, but it plays
Exactly
it
what I
so
wanted.
straight though, like
I know,
the
which is
whole movie, like
perfect.
the look of the movie, the feel, the way it's shot, it all feels very earnest and very like serious. Like this is one of these like serious elevated horror films. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like, the way that it's shot. But then you have that juxtaposed with the killer dispatching people in the most ridiculous,
And every
brutal
time
ways.
the victims open their mouths, you're like, oh yeah, no. It looks like an elevated heart, but this is not at all.
Yeah, no. Yeah, these are your typical, party 20 somethings that are out there looking to get laid and get drunk and get killed. Yeah, I had a great time with it. Definitely recommend it. It did not let me down. I'm glad that you liked it. I was really worried that you weren't going to vibe with the whole like juxtaposition of the violence with the comedy and the way that it looked and
No,
everything.
I was 100% on board.
This I could easily see this becoming a franchise, like without a doubt.
Which is
Probably not
slightly
good.
worrisome. Because
Yeah,
I think this is an experiment that, like, I feel like he caught lightning in a bottle here. I don't
yeah.
think you can do this again. You know
I
what I mean?
mean,
Like, it's just one of those things where you're like, holy shit, that worked. Wow, that's
yeah,
incredible.
because you know that
Never do it again.
if there is a sequel, you know that it's not gonna be the same. It'll probably be more of a
Yeah.
conventional
You
slasher
can't
movie that's just like a straight to VOD type of thing.
quit while you're ahead.
Yep. All right. That's in a violent nature. I also like the setting. Any movies that take place like in the mountains or camps and stuff like that in nature, I kind of instantly into, and I liked the cabins and stuff like that. I like all that. I like that.
100%.
So good job, Chris Nash. I mean, I think that this is his feature debut. He did like some shorts for the ABCs of Death, but this is his feature debut. So good on you. Looking forward to seeing what he does next. Go ahead and give it a score. Kevin, what are you going to give In a Violent Nature out of 10?
I'm going to give it an 8, I think.
I'm at like a 7.5, 8 on this one too. Like sort of in between. I've been flip flopping, but again, this is a movie.
Like the movie.
This is a movie that kind of stuck with me, almost like sort of like I saw the TV glow. I've been thinking about it in the last few days since I saw it. So yeah, I might lean towards Nate on this one as well. All right, again, that's on VOD, so check it out if you're itching for some good quality horror. I mean, this is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best of 2024 as far as horror. So check it out.
No, yeah, definitely.
Let's move on and talk about some of what we've been watching. I believe it is my turn this week. Started things off with Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Finally got to see this. I was really bummed that I didn't get a chance to see this in theaters. I was going to, and then like we had a babysitter situation, so I didn't get a chance to see it. But I caught it at home. It's on VOD now, and loved it. Not much more to say. I expected to love this. This was like my number one most anticipated movie of the year, and it did not let me down at all. I think that George Miller and his world building in the Mad Max universe is fantastic, and I think that this is just another incredible chapter in this saga. I thought everybody did an amazing job. Anya Taylor-Joy was a really good choice as Furiosa. I wasn't sure about that when they first announced her, but yeah, it that really does work. And Chris Hemsworth is he's the villain, but man, they made him such a goofball in this. It was kind of fun. So yeah, highly recommend Furiosa. If you liked Thunder Road, then definitely check this one out because it's more of the same. I mean, the action is incredible, like jaw dropping.
I only watched one thing, and that was Robert Zemeckis, What Lies Beneath from 2000.
I remember this. I remember I was working at the movie theater when this came out.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing I'll tell you is this is long. This is a long movie.
I see that. 130 minutes.
Yeah. It's, it could have definitely been pared down a little bit. I will say, for the most part, it's good, except for the fact that it's long. But Michelle Pfeiffer, they got her and Harrison Ford have this like super nice lake house. It's ridiculous. New neighbors move in. James Remar. Her daughter goes to college, so she's kind of got this empty nest situation going on. She starts like spying on her neighbors because they're always kind of arguing and stuff. And she comes to the conclusion that James Remar killed his wife. So it's kind of this like rear window type situation, but with the added twist of ghosts because she keeps seeing this ghost in her house. And she thinks it's the neighbor's wife. And that's where she comes up with this idea that, oh, Remar killed her, and now she's a ghost in my house. Which, why would she be a ghost in your house? Anyway,
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, Claire. But man, this thing just keeps going and going and going. Got a lot of twists and turns. And I gotta say, for the most part, pretty damn good. Except for, like, it's long. Like, you really feel it.
Mm.
And I like looking back on it, and I'm like, I don't know why it was that long. But Harrison Ford does a pretty good job of being a fucking awful, evil person.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This is before he was like kind of just phoning in all of his
stuff. Because for the most part, like the beginning of this movie, until he takes his like villain turn, he's kind of doing that where you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ, Harrison, like put some effort into it, bud. Something. And then the villain turn comes in and he's like, oh, okay. Now he's awake.
Cool. That's What Lies Beneath from 2000. Check it out, Robert Zemeckis. I never thought that I would hear you say that you liked a Zemeckis film. So
hey, it's weird because it doesn't feel like I had to keep like Zemeckis directed this, really?
Yeah, he's such a weird director, though. Like his filmography is just so all over the place, and he has that new one coming out too that also looks to me very bad. But Here, it's called.
Oh yeah, is that the one with like are they like de-aged or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh god.
They make Tom Hanks look like he's a teenager, basically.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, I saw some really interesting things this week. Sort of like last week, man. I've been on quite a tear recently of just seeing kind of wild and wacky movies. Started things off with Down, which came out in 2001. This is directed by Dick Moss. This is about a killer elevator. So,
oh yeah,
you got that going. This is a movie that I think was slated for theaters, but unfortunately, if you look at the year that it came out, this takes place in a New York City skyscraper, which is clearly the Empire State Building. It's called the Millennium Building or something in the movie, but it's clearly the Empire State Building. And once the elevator starts killing people, everybody thinks that it's terrorists that are doing it. So this movie was one of the unfortunate victims of 9/11. Yeah, it did not get released. I don't know when it actually did come out. Maybe it came out like straight to video or something, but kind of sucks because I had a really good time with this movie. It's bad. Like it's not a good movie, but it is so over the top. I mean, it is a killer elevator that we're dealing with here. And the reasoning behind why the elevator is killing people is even more ridiculous than like the kind of premise itself. So Michael Ironside is like this military scientist guy who like creates, it's basically like an AI that's like made from organic tissue, and he injects or he attaches the like AI creature to the elevator. And it is so
Yes.
ridiculous.
That's what you want, though.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly what you want. James Marshall stars in this. He plays an elevator technician. And of course, he's the guy that's got to save the day, the elevator technician. And I'm going to give a quick spoiler here. He kills the elevator with a bazooka. And it's so funny because all of a sudden he just like runs up with a bazooka, and it's like, what? Was that just like in a closet or something?
That's standard fare for lift technicians.
Oh, okay. They just keep
that shit.
They just keep one in their van just in case.
That's
Got it.
the only way you can defeat an elevator, Adam.
Okay. Yeah, so if you want to see James Marshall fight an elevator, and Naomi Watts is in here, and she fights an elevator. It's interesting because this is the same year that Mulholland Drive came out. So there's Down and there's Mulholland Drive, 2001.
There's an alternate universe where Down is the role that she is best known for. You know, like that's the one that everyone's fucking talking about, Down.
This movie's also known as The Shaft. So,
well, that's see, and you every year, and I mean it's been a long time since 9/11, but every year you just learn the things that could have been, and Down could have been. You know?
Yep. Damn terrorists.
I know you just keep learning more and more what they took from us.
Yep. Yeah. So this is
incredible.
It is incredible. It's on Shudder. It's on Amazon Prime. I definitely recommend it. I mean, it's not a good movie, but it is so much fun. Speaking of which, the next one I saw was called Death Spa from 1988. So we go from a killer elevator to a killer spa. And by that, I mean like the entire spa is killer. Like the weight machines, the sauna, like every part of this facility is out to kill people. This is directed by Michael Biska, and yeah, what can I say? It's about a killer spa, and it's also incredible. Ken Foree's in this one, and this is also sort of about like an AI, like a guy who, like this spa is like super advanced. Like everybody has these like really crazy key cards, and there's this like AI computer thing that tracks your exercises and stuff like that. And basically the guy who created it gets kind of possessed by the ghost of this woman, and they turn it into a death spa.
Yeah.
This movie's great. It has some really gnarly kills in it that are really fun. So definitely recommend Death Spa. If you're looking for some really solid, campy 80s horror, there's a lot of comedy in this one too. Like this one's almost a horror comedy.
Yeah. No, that sounds incredible.
Yeah, it is. This is also on Shudder and Tubi, so you can check it out on either one of those platforms. Yeah. The final one that I'll mention is Blades from 1989. This is about a killer lawnmower. And I swear it wasn't until after I saw all three of these movies that I realized that there was like kind of a theme happening. This is directed by Thomas R. Rondinella, and it takes place on a golf course. So you're at this kind of high end, classy golf course. But man, there is a killer lawnmower roaming the links, running people over and chopping them up.
Yes.
And this one's an absolute blast too. It's basically a Jaws clone. Like this is very, very much a Jaws clone. Like there's the kind of evil owner of the force who they're like doing this kind of I don't know. It's like some kind of tournament. And, you know, of course, once the mower starts killing people, the two club pros are warning him to like, you got to shut down the tournament. This mower's out here killing people. And of course he's like not having it. He's just like, nah. We've had a couple people die. Had a couple people die. It's not a big deal. So yeah, and it even like the music is completely ripped off of Jaws too. So very, very much. And then also you have this like groundskeeper who he's like the Quint character, where he's just kind of like grizzled. He's like, he's seen some shit. And everybody thinks that it's him who is doing the killing, but obviously it's not. And they have to fight the lawnmower with golf at the end. So if you want to see
is golf,
yeah, the way that they have to defeat it is golf. So if you want to see people fighting a mower with golf, check out Blades. This is also on Tubi and Amazon Prime and Plex. Watch it free on Plex as well.
Incredible. So, it looks like Ryan watched this for Ryan Watches a Movie.
Did he?
I think.
Well, maybe. I don't remember. But it was a good time, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he didn't seem to like it as much as you.
Oh, well. Ryan.
He can't count for Ryan's taste.
What did we, out of curiosity, what did we have him, like, what was the theme?
I have no idea.
Let's see. Blades. Oh, it was in honor of National Golf Month.
Perfect.
Wow, I can't believe that. I totally forgot. He watched it in 2017.
Yeah.
And his synopsis is the lawnmower lawn mows him to death.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's correct.
Great.
Yep.
Cool. That's all I got.
I would do want to mention one thing, because I kind of got into watching Fallout.
Oh, okay.
Finally starting Fallout, and man, I'm pretty much enjoying the show. But having not played Fallout, the game, and not really having any understanding of the games, I'm so confused.
Maybe.
And I think what I'm most confused as is watching the show. I can't figure out what the game is.
It's like a role-playing game. You depending on which game you're playing, you're either a vault dweller or like
okay. So that's one of the main things, right? Is that the games are different? Are you
So like the show, it takes place in the universe of the games, but it's not like Last of Us where it's retelling a story that was in the games.
Okay.
It's like the world building and all of that, like the different like factions and the ghouls and all of that stuff, like all of that is in the game. And like the big kind of historical moments that occur or that are talked about in the show, those occur in the game. But like the specific character arcs are completely different and new.
Okay. Because I don't know anything about this game. And I'm just watching the show and I'm trying to like figure out the video game from the show. And it's been a very confusing experience.
But the games are incredible. I mean, it's probably my favorite game series of all time.
Now, what type of game is it? Like a first person shooter?
It's first or third, so you can switch back and forth, and it's a role playing game. But you can switch to like a turn based mode. It's almost like they call it VATS, where you can like sort of pause time and like target specific areas to like attack with your weapon if you want to, or you can just play it like a standard shooter if you want to as well. But yeah, I mean, it's an open world RPG, so there's like tons. I mean, like massive places, like massive maps, tons of different quest lines, people that you meet. You can get people that like join your group, and it's just like this huge, like there's always like one kind of through line, like one story, but it's like pretty much all about the side quests and the missions and stuff that you do. You can align yourself with factions, and one of the big things about the Fallout series is the sort of moral ambiguity of everything, where If you want to just be a horrible, psychopath that murders everybody, you can. Like, you can kill main NPCs in the game if you want to. You can kill everybody in a whole town if you want to. And so it gives you a lot of freedom to play how you want. You can align with different factions or ignore them or kill everybody in the faction if you want. And it kind of shapes how the story progresses, which is really, really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the education on Fallout. Fallout, Amazon Prime.
This week in theaters, got Despicable Me 4. I can't believe this is still a thing. They just need to stop with the Despicable Me and the Minions.
They can't stop.
The most annoying shit ever. I will never show my kid Despicable Me. Mark my words.
Yeah, good. Don't.
We also have Maxine coming out. Pretty excited for that one. Let's see. VOD. We got The Last Breath. We got Boneyard. Murder Company. Conversion. Hummingbirds. Jeff McFetridge, Drawing a Life. The Closeness. Little Deaths. Minnesota Mean. Let's see. Netflix. We got Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F. What do you think about that? Are you excited for the new Beverly Hills Cop?
No, but I will say that it might be time to rewatch Beverly Hills Cop. I used to love that movie.
Yeah, I thought about that. Also, rewatching. I liked all the Beverly Hills Cop movies, actually. Also on Netflix, we have The Imaginary and Goyo. Let's see if anything is going to be on Amazon. We got Space Cadet coming out. That's the comedy. See what's coming out on Hulu. Got anything on Hulu? Diane von Fursten. No, that was this week. Okay, no, nothing on Hulu that I see here. And then Shudder is not loading.
Nice.
Let me try to refresh it one more time. Oh, there we go. Nothing.
Nothing on Shudder.
Nope. Blu-ray this week. We got Taxi Driver coming out in 4K. Anchorman. The Legend of Ron Burgundy coming out in 4K. UHF. 1989.
Hell yeah.
The Guyver from 1991. These are all in 4K. The original Point Break, the 91 version. Who's That Girl from 1987? Starring Madonna. Natural Born Killers, Forrest Gump, Diary of the Dead, Saw 10, Escape Plan triple feature.
Whoa.
Got 3 Escape Plan movies. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What about Criterion's?
Oh, we got one, and that's Peck and Paul, Pat Garrity, and Billy the Kid, 1973.
Nice. I need to get back to my my Peck and Paul marathon, my Peck and Paul filmography watch.
Well, here you go.
This one's not really on my list, but
Well,
maybe I'll add it.
I don't think you get to pick and choose, do you?
Well, I'm not trying to watch everything. I'm just trying to like fill in a lot of the blanks.
Right.
You know, like Westerns, man. Like I have the Wild Bunch on the list, but I'm just not super into Westerns, really.
Gotcha. Understandable.
Sometimes it is weird though, because sometimes I'm like I get a hankering for one. Like I get a craving for a Western.
Just get that.
And then
Western
I'll
itch.
yeah, and then I'll like seek one out. I just can't do a lot of them.
I see. I get you.
All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. And if you could, consider giving us a review on your podcast platform of choice. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.